Hi everybody, I'd like to show you my Elvis vinyl collection. I just recently started the collection not too long ago and I already have quite a collection already. So here we go. Of course, his first album, 1956. As you can see, this is not a original copy. It is very hard to find an original copy of this album in good shape and for a good price, so I'm still searching for it, but from now at least I have a copy of it. This is a repress 50th anniversary version. His second album. This is a second press original. I have quite a few copies of this one. This is a first pressing of it. You can tell by the blue writing on it. And this album skips a lot. It's not in the greatest shape. And it has writing on it, as you can see. So I got an upgrade. I was lucky enough to find an upgrade, and this one is in way better condition. And it plays really good. And then I also have a 60s repress of it that was gifted to me by my uncle, my late uncle. So it's kind of special to me, so that's why I kept it. You can see there's damage on the front cover, but the record plays really well. And then last I have another 50th anniversary repress of it with the green 50th anniversary label. Original press of King Creole. Again, I do not have an original of this one for LP fans only, because as with the first album, it's really hard to find this in really good condition and for a good price. So for now, I just have a cheap repress of it. And this was 1959 reissue of his Christmas album, and this is an original. And the cover is not that great, but the record plays really nice. And then I have a 1960s repress of it. This album, the cover is trashed, as you can see. But it's Elvis Golden Records Volume 2. However, the album is an original press, and it's kind of scuffed up, but it's not in the worst shape, and it does play pretty good. So hopefully I can find a better cover for it eventually. And then I have a 60s repress of the same album. And another 50th anniversary repress of it. This is my very favorite Elvis album of all time. I absolutely love this album. And the cover is kind of rough, but when you open it, the gatefold still looks really nice. And the record is in really good shape and it plays very well, and it has the original sticker on it. And then I have German pressing of the same album, stereo. And this one sounds way amazing. Original press of GI Blues. Stereo, His Hand in Mine, which is my very favorite Elvis gospel album. A lot of people love How Great Thou Art, and How Great Thou Art is a great album as well, but my favorite is His Hand in Mine. My second favorite Elvis album, Something for Everybody. I love Elvis's 60s music. Most people gravitate toward the 50s and the 70s for Elvis, but I absolutely love Elvis's 60s music. I love all of his music, but I prefer his 60s music. Original copy of Blue Hawaii. The cover is kind of rough, but the album plays really nice. Is in okay condition. This is a great album too. Potluck, Stereo, original press. Girls, Girls, Girls soundtrack. It happened at the World's Fair. I love the cover of this album. Elvis looks amazing on the cover of this album. And this album is in incredible shape. The cover and the album looks like it has never been played. Elvis Golden Records Volume 3, Stereo Press. On an Acapulco. There's some damage down here, but other than that, it's in really good shape. Kissin' Cousins. This is probably my favorite Elvis soundtrack album, Roustabout. And this album is also in awesome shape. The cover and the album. Girl Happy, Stereo press. I try to get mono pressings of all of the records, but if I come across a stereo pressing that's in a good shape, I grab it too. Harem Scarum, original copy. I know a lot of people put this album down, and I understand that it's one of his silly movies and silly soundtracks, but I actually like a lot of the songs on this album. I know a lot of people don't like Harem Holiday, but I like that song. So Close Yet So Far from Paradise is an awesome song. Shake That Tambourine, I think that's a good song, and Animal Instinct. So, in my opinion, this is not a bad album. I like it. I have 2 copies of Frankie and Johnny. I think one is a mono and one is a stereo. And I also have the picture that came with it, the original photo that came with it, which is pretty cool. It has some writing up here, somebody wrote on it, but other than that, it's in pretty good shape. Paradise Hawaiian Style. I actually think that this is a sillier soundtrack than Harem Scarum, but there are still a couple songs in here I like Paradise Hawaiian Style, and even though it's a silly song, I like Dayton, the song Dayton. Most of Elvis's albums have at least 1 or 2 good songs on them, so they're not all that bad. I absolutely love the cover of this album. I think that Elvis looks amazing on this cover. And I love this movie for a silly reason, because he says my name in the movie. I know that's silly, but to me it's really cool. And I also like this movie. It's a pretty good movie. And the soundtrack is really great. I have 2 copies of How Great Thou Art. One is my 1977 repress of it. And then I also have a original press. Double Trouble. This is a silly soundtrack too. I mean, this is the one that has Old MacDonald on it, and people always knock it, but there are some good bonus songs on it, like Blue River and Never Ending and What Now, What Next, Where To. So, it's not all that bad. Clambake. This was actually my dad's album when he was a kid, and he kept it in pretty good shape. And I also have the photo of Elvis and Priscilla that goes with it. And it's really old, and it's been through some stuff. Somebody had it hanging on a wall, it looks like, but it's still cool to have it. I have two copies of this. This is an original press, but it's in rough shape. It still plays though. And then I have a 1977 repress of it, and this one is in really good shape. It plays really well. Elvis Sings Flaming Star, Camden, Blue Label. From Elvis in Memphis, this is considered one of his greatest albums. Let's Be Friends. Almost in Love. A lot of these are Camden releases. A reissue of his Christmas album, yet again, from 1970. Another Camden release. And then I have an original, That's the Way It Is, on the orange label. This is also considered one of his great albums. You'll Never Walk Alone, the Pickwick version of it. I don't have the Camden version yet. I'm sorry, I mean the RCA Camden version of it. Love Letters from Elvis. I actually have 2 copies of this one. Elvis Sings the Wonderful World of Christmas. This is my favorite Elvis 70s album. I love this album. It's such a great album. It has a lot of awesome songs on it. My favorite song on here is Early Morning Rain. I love that song. Elvis recorded live at Madison Square Garden. This is the tan 1977 label in the shrink. This is my copy of Elvis, He Touched Me. It's not an original, it's a 1977 repress, but it's in really good shape and it plays really well. And this was a Grammy winner for Elvis. Elvis sings hits from his movies on Camden again. Blue label. Separate Ways. This is the Pickwick one. It's got a couple stickers on it. It's in the shrink still. This is an original Elvis Aloha from Hawaii on the Quadro disc. It's in pretty good shape. The spine looks really nice on it. I love this album. It isn't an original, it's a 1977 repress, but it plays really good. Hopefully I can find an original of it. Good Times. Elvis recorded live on stage in Memphis. This is also a 1977 repress. Sounds really good though. Promised Land. Pure Gold, this is the Best Buy series one, but I also have the original one. Today, this album is in really good shape. I wish I had the one with the sticker on it, but it's hard to find that one. And this is yet another repress of his, or reissue of his Christmas album on Pickwick. I actually have a couple of these. I have one with the black cover. And apparently I have this one, which has the green back cover, which is rare from what I've heard. And it's in the shrink. So it's pretty cool that I have that. Elvis in Hollywood on Camden, blue. A Legendary Performer Volume 2. I don't have any of the others, but I don't think that they're very hard to find. I should be able to find them okay. I have 2 copies of Moody Blue on blue vinyl. Show you the blue vinyl, it's pretty cool. And it has the original sleeve in it too. I'll use the blue vinyl. I don't have the black vinyl. The black vinyl is very rare. It's hard to find, but I don't have it yet. Hopefully I can track it down. Elvis in Concert in the shrink wrap. Our Memories of Elvis, Volume 2. I don't have Volume 1 yet. Volume 1's down here. I don't have it yet, but hopefully I can find it. This is another repress of His Hand in Mine. I really like the cover of this one. I like the original cover better, but this one's cool too. This album is really special to me because I had this album when I was a little kid. It was probably the first album I had. And I remember looking at the front of this cover for hours and being mesmerized at how gorgeous Elvis was. And somehow, through the years, from moving or whatever it may be, I misplaced it. So I'm glad that I was able to track it down again. And this one I also had when I was a kid. And the cool thing about this, which is unusual, is that on Easter Sunday one year, you know, most of us get Easter baskets with like prizes in them. Well, when I woke up and saw my Easter basket, my parents had somehow placed this nice big shiny Elvis album in my Easter basket. And I always remembered that, and it was always one of my favorite albums, so I'm so glad that I was able to find this as well. This is a reissue of his Christmas 1957 Christmas album. And like his first album, this one is like a holy grail if you can find it. I shouldn't say that, that's kind of sacrilegious, but it is a grail in the Elvis vinyl world, and it's so hard to find this, and usually when you do, it's very expensive if it's in good condition. So hopefully someday I will be able to track it down. But this is pretty cool. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like the original. It's got the gatefold and the booklet inside, and it's on green vinyl. I also had this when I was a kid, Double Dynamite. It's a 2-record set. I was able to track it down again. I absolutely love this album. I had this when I was young too. I love the cover of it. Excuse my dog barking in the background. And I love all of the songs on this album. They're also Elvis 60s songs. As I said before, I love the Elvis 60s music. This is Reconsider Baby with the hype sticker, and it is on blue vinyl. It's in the shrink wrap. And the Complete Sun Sessions. It's a gatefold. It's in really great shape. And I have the top 10 hits. It's such a great cover. And what's cool about this one is that it has the original, let's see if I can get it out, the original poster that was in it. And it is in really great shape. So that's really cool. And then last but not least, I have this Elvis gospel album. And this is a really great album as well. So yeah, that's my collection. I hope that you enjoyed it. I will be collecting more, and hopefully I will be able to get all of his albums eventually. So when I accumulate more, then I can maybe put updates on here. So until my next video, thanks for watching.